from Oak Ridge, Tennessee, your source for the Department of Energy's environmental cleanup news. Energycast starts now.
Hi everyone, I'm Summer Dash. Thank you so much for joining us for our May episode of Energycast. Let's go ahead and get started with your Energy Bites.
What an exciting time, for all of us. It's always very rewarding to win it, and it's even more exciting to win it a second time.
Like winning back-to-back Super Bowls, that company president right there says his team is going to do it again. The work they do is no game though. We're going to show you what's got him excited for a repeat and what it means for the future of East Tennessee. And there are decades of cleanup work ahead in Oak Ridge and at sites across the country, so who's going to do it?
And for us to be able to complete that work, we need a workforce and a talent pool that we can pull from. And we want to ensure that that workforce is reflective of America.
A massive funding boost aims to make sure that happens. We're taking our questions to a top federal leader. We'll show you how she says millions of dollars will be used to bring in diverse top talent. Military dad home from deployment surprises a 6-year-old at school. Dad happens to be an employee at the Department of Energy's Oak Ridge Office of Environmental Management, by the way. He shared that video with us. We are catching up with him during his first week back in the office. We'll also bring you that heartwarming moment, all caught on camera. We'll get to those important stories in just a moment, but first we are so excited to welcome you to our very first Energycast. Our goal is to let you know what's happening at one of the most historic places in America. The work happening here right now is literally changing the landscape and the future. This show has been a goal for our communications team and top leaders for quite some time.
Our hope for this newscast is for people to understand our work and for us to take the steps to make it understandable, because a lot of times it's really complex. And secondly, I really want people to be proud of the people that work here. They really believe in what they're doing and they're committed to doing it the right way. And so whether it's people who live in the community that we're working to protect, or whether it's lawmakers determining if we continue to get tax investments, we want them to know we're committed to doing it and doing it the right way.
Now, to give you a little background on how we got here, Oak Ridge, Tennessee began as a secret city. It played a pivotal role in the Manhattan Project, which led to the first atomic bomb. In the decades after World War II, the work here continued to advance our country's capabilities in power, medicine, and national defense. Now, just around the corner, scientists and researchers are expanding the limits of supercomputing and making clean energy technologies more efficient. Others here are keeping our nation safe from some of the gravest threats abroad. Today, our crews are working to safely take down contaminated buildings that date back to those early operations. This effort is keeping the area safe and helping these sites continue their important missions. There is so much important information to share with you. I'm Summer Dash, your host. I'm a former journalist. I spent 10 years reporting and anchoring for television stations all across the country. I am so grateful that my career brought me here with all of you to be part of this. At the heart of our mission is this community, and we are so excited to share stories of the work being done in Oak Ridge so you can see why the future is full of promise. Now let's get to the news. We now know who will be in charge of major environmental cleanup efforts on the Department of Energy's Oak Ridge Reservation for the next decade. United Cleanup Oak Ridge, or UCOR, has been awarded the contract. If that name sounds familiar to you, that's because UCOR has been the name behind many of the biggest cleanup successes in Oak Ridge since 2011. Workers have demolished hundreds of buildings, drastically changing the local landscape. The biggest transformation was at the East Tennessee Technology Park. Crews took down the numerous contaminated and deteriorating buildings at the former enrichment complex. Most notable teardowns included the massive K-25 building in 2013 and two others, K-31 and K-27 in 2015 and 2016. It's all part of the Vision 2016 mission. Removing these buildings meant meeting that goal. Then came Vision 2020. Complete all remaining demolition projects at that site. An ambitious goal. In 2018, employees tackled the Tosca incinerator. By 2019, the K-1037 and Poplar Creek facilities were safely taken down. The centrifuge complex and K-1600 building went in 2020. This marked the first ever removal of an enrichment complex in the world. And they didn't stop there. In 2021, crews took down the sprawling biology complex at the Y-12 National Security Complex and the West Cell Bank at Oak Ridge National Lab. Under the new contract, the president of UCOR promises that momentum will continue. Ken Reuter is sharing what we can expect. He has been with the company since the very beginning here in Oak Ridge. Let's go ahead and head over to Kelly Rhodes, who sat down with the man leading the team that will transform Oak Ridge over the next decade.
Talk to us about, we are referring to it New UCOR. So tell us about New UCOR, tell us about the name, and maybe about the partners.
The new UCOR is the old UCOR. You know, the performance of that team, of our company, of our partnership, delivered amazing things. And those amazing things paved the path to this success. This job was won on the people, and won by the work that has been delivered by our team. And I'm convinced, after reading how we were scored, that was at the foundation of the victory.
Could you tell us a bit about the contract and what DOE is asking of us?
The scope of the contract is almost a mirror of what our previous contract was. So it's doing the environmental remediation and cleanup, with a focus now on Y-12 and Bear Creek Valley, and a focus on ORNL and Bethel Valley, and the completion of the soils remediation and closure of Heritage Center. So very similar scope. The terms of the contract are different. So it's called an end state contracting model. We would have been used to seeing those as PBI milestones or completion milestones in the previous contract. They're now called end states. And how those end states are contractually enabled or authorized for us to do is through what are called task orders. So the client, we will negotiate with them a series of task orders that then give us the authorization to do the scope that's defined in the contract. From a contract management standpoint, it's a bit different, but realistically, all the work that we did, like going east or accelerating ETTP, which we're all familiar with, Vision 2020, how that work was set up as discrete milestones and got on the contract, although it's a different vocabulary, it's essentially the same management approach.
So is there anything else that you want to say to us, leave us with as we sign off today?
Yeah, we're absolutely ready for this. I don't think we could be in a better position as a company. We've talked about it previously. The transition that we did as part of Go East, the safe start of that work, the foundational performance kind of culminating in what happened in completion of the biology project, we are absolutely ready for Vision 2031, and we set the table for it. There would have been no chance whatsoever if we hadn't delivered on Vision 2016, 2020, and then Go East. The progression continues. We're absolutely ready for it, and what I'd leave everybody with is, hey, you don't win a lot of back-to-back Super Bowls, but this team can.
Kelly, thank you. The official transition date on that contract is listed as May 23rd, 2022. The numbers are in. Oak Ridge's environmental cleanup program is expected to have another strong year. Let's go ahead and go through the 2022 budget recently approved. What you're seeing on your screen right now is a comparison between 2021 and 2022, just to give you some context. Projects at the East Tennessee Technology Park are almost done. Funding is trending down there from about $160 million to $130 million. Over at the Y-12 National Security Complex and Oak Ridge National Lab, however, a boost in funding as work ramps up at those sites, from roughly $485 million to nearly $500 million. Now, these tax dollars will allow workers to continue preparing dozens of facilities for demolition. They're also slated to begin multiple demolition projects. Meantime, They'll continue work to eliminate the remaining inventory of uranium-233 stored on the site. Total budget for 2022 comes in at $629.8 million. Now looking ahead to next year, EM is requesting $7.6 billion. Leaders say that money would fund projects that continue eliminating risks at cleanup sites all across the country. That figure also includes support for underrepresented communities near EM sites. Plus, it would go toward developing the future workforce through partnerships with colleges and universities. We are going to have much more to share with you on that budget request next month. We've got a major project update out of Y-12 National Security Complex to report to you. Workers just finished getting 6.5 tons of mercury from old deteriorating equipment. This will prevent it from getting released into the surrounding environment. Over the last 11 months, crews have been cleaning out pipes and tanks outside the Alpha 4 building. Large amounts of mercury once pumped through them when they operated decades ago, but they have gone unused since the 1960s. Now, this project cleared out more than 8,500 feet of pipes and tanks on the east side of Alpha 4. That is considered a high priority building. Workers had previously removed equipment on its west side. Now to an update from the East Tennessee Technology Park. The public comment period is now over for that proposed Hermes reactor. County, city leaders, people from all across Tennessee weighed in on this project. Most did speak in support. It was just the next step to bring that reactor to the former enrichment site. So take a look at this. This right here is what the K-31 and K-33 gaseous diffusion buildings looked like. These Cold War era buildings were contaminated and deteriorating. To safely demolish them was a massive undertaking, but they did it. The Oak Ridge Office of Environmental Management is the first in the world to remove a former enrichment site like this. All right, now take a look at this. Here's that land now. Clean, clear, wide open to new opportunities. Kairos Power and the Tennessee Valley Authority are jumping at the chance. They are proposing the construction of this low-power demonstration reactor called Hermes. With Kairos' $100 million investment, 55 jobs are expected to be created. As of now, OREM has transferred nearly 1,300 acres of land for economic development like this at ETTP. So far, more than 20 businesses have moved to the former enrichment site. And that list is growing. More businesses are interested. In April, TriSoX announced plans to build its world headquarters and commercial fuel fabrication facility in Oak Ridge. This is the land where the future building will stand. Workers there will produce fuel for advanced reactors worldwide. The project is expected to generate 400 jobs and attract an investment of $300 million. Lieutenant Governor Randy McNally calls this a big win for our state and Oak Ridge. Here's his statement in part. I am tremendously grateful to TriSoX for making this kind of investment in our community. TriSoX's mission works in perfect synergy with our unique and innovative technology corridor here in Oak Ridge. These high-quality jobs will invigorate the technology sector and our economy. Site prep and construction will start later this year. Take a look at a rendering of that facility here. The commissioning and launch could begin as early as 2025. Few things in life are more powerful than someone believing in you.
Meeting some of these students who are so ready to go out into the world and make a difference, and hearing some of their questions and hearing from the administrators was a wonderful opportunity.
A handful of college students got to talk with a member of EM's leadership team, Nicole Nelson-John, while she visited Oak Ridge from Washington, D.C., and so did we. She has been with the Department of Energy for 3 decades. Her work has taken her all around the world. Now she's making sure the next generation is supported too. In just 60 seconds, she's answering our questions about how millions of dollars will be spent to make that happen.
Everybody acted like they was excited to see me, so that made me feel real special, so it was great.
And they were! Everyone was so excited to see you, Rocky. We are welcoming home a co-worker here in Oak Ridge. Rocky Stafford had been deployed for almost a year. We're going to show you how his teammates at the Federal Building made sure he knew how much he was missed. Welcome back. We have a program with the Department of Energy. It is called the Minority Serving Institute Partnership, and it is expanding, which means more opportunities. Here today with us is Nicole Nelson. John, you have been with DOE for 3 decades now, so we are so grateful to have your perspective on all of this today. I know you're busy. Thank you so much for your time. So go ahead and tell us a little bit about this.
Well, the Minority Serving Institutions Partnership Program is a program that the Office of Environmental Management has been a part of for, several years, since 2014. So it's a fantastic opportunity where we work with MSIs across the country to get students involved in activities that are important to the Office of Environmental Management. STEM-related activities, but also cyber security and additive manufacturing activities. So we're excited about the program, and this year we have wonderful news that our program, which has been funded at about $5 to $6 million per year, got a huge lift this fiscal year of $50 million.
That is a big lift.
It's huge. So therefore, we're looking at $56 million where we can work with students from across the country and bring them into our program.
And you're so passionate about this. I mean, it's so fun to hear you talk about it. And you've got a personal connection to this too.
I do.
What does this mean for environmental management's future?
Well, for environmental management's future, for those that don't know, we started out with 107 sites almost 30 years ago that we began cleaning up and doing waste management activities overall. We are now down, after starting with 107 sites in 1989, to 15 sites. Wow. But we still have decades of work to do. And for us to be able to complete that work, we need a workforce and a talent pool that we can pull from. And we want to ensure that that workforce is reflective of America.
And one of the things you were talking about when you were talking to the students here today, we had some students here from various universities, and one of the things you brought up was simply knowing what exists out there. And it sounds like this is really going to help that.
Absolutely. Going from $5 to $6 million to $50 million, we're able to expand our outreach to students not just at a few universities, but at multiple universities. We have 107 HBCUs. We have 32 TCUs, tribal colleges and universities. We have several other HHIs, historically Hispanic institutions, that we can work with. Where before we could reach maybe hundreds of students, we now can reach thousands of students with this type of infusion of dollars.
And for those institutes that are part of this, what does this mean for them? I mean, it was fun to hear from the president today of Tennessee State. It's just neat, you know, it's like giving someone a gift, but that reaction was really nice to see. What does that look like for these institutes?
Well, it gives them an opportunity to really do a couple of things. With this funding, we are going to have technology, curriculum, and also faculty development. Technology really focuses on building infrastructure, buying equipment, refurbishing labs, and ensuring that these institutions have the opportunity to maintain and sustain a student body that can work on cutting-edge activities right there on campus. So it's really fantastic. And also build curriculum. So they continue to build curriculum as technology advances, but also develop their own faculty, which is also very important. We also can do some directed research. We're very interested in waste management technologies in EM. This gives an opportunity for universities to build in-house capability that they can train students on. So then when they come to the Office of Environmental Management or other parts of our complex, they've already been trained on that equipment that we utilize in the field.
We all know that. You're in college, nothing better than getting out there and doing, so that's fantastic. How was it? We got to meet some of those students. That had to have been really cool. What was that like for you?
It was fantastic. I graduated from an HBCU, so meeting some of these students who are so ready to go out into the world and make a difference, and hearing some of their questions and hearing from the administrators was a wonderful opportunity for me to hear from them on just what they would like and what they would like to see. So we can make sure that we develop our program program in a way that supports them. So it was fantastic meeting the students and the administrators today.
Thank you so much. Like I said, I know you're busy. Thank you for taking the time for us, and your perspective on this was so very important. We appreciate it. We've got a link for you to learn more information about the MSIP program. If you're a student or know a student, maybe you're a teacher, just head on over to this website, scan that QR code right there on your screen, or type in the web address. That is srnl.doe.gov/MSIPP. We also had the chance to talk with some of those students. Several visited Oak Ridge from Benedict College in South Carolina. All were absolutely wowed by what they saw here. These are students working so hard to earn their spots in the workforce after graduation, like Dari Gabriel, who is a senior majoring in environmental engineering. She actually has an internship already lined up with UCOR. We asked her what drew her to this kind of work.
I don't know, it makes me feel like a superhero because I'm, working to make change and make the world better.
Gabriel says she would absolutely take a job in East Tennessee if given the opportunity, and she's not alone. A student 3 years behind her is discovering his passion for the field too.
When I thought of engineering, like in high school, I didn't really think of environmental engineering. So I wanted to see what real life environmental engineers look like what they did, what the processes they went through and all that.
After looking around, he says it is a career he could really dedicate his life to. It's something he can believe in, and that is a direct quote. By the way, funding for this program comes at a crucial time for EM. A significant portion of the workforce is currently or will soon be eligible for retirement. There are 33,000 federal and contract employees nationwide. This program creates a strong pipeline to fill future openings.
I got deployed one other time back in 2005, just coming to the Army. I was only 18 years old, so I had no job responsibilities or ties to my community, so it was like one of the best years of my life. But now, this time around, I've got a family, a career, responsibilities, so it was tough.
We are so proud to introduce you to Rocky Stafford in just a few minutes. DOE employee, officer in the Army Reserves, and dad. We're going to show you the full video of a reunion between father and son you will not want to miss.
We never thought Tyvek could be that fun.
It is when you're a kid. Up next, we're heading to Jefferson Middle School for STEM night. And we're not sure who had more fun, the kids or the Isotech employees. Hey, you decide. See you in 30 seconds. Our team is plugged into the community. We love getting others involved and hopefully encouraging the next generation of workers. The minute you say nuclear to a child, you have got their attention. Offer a chance to wear a protective suit and they are all in. And it looks so fun. Employees from contractor Isotech are helping to make sure students are exposed to opportunities in science. They were at Jefferson Middle School's STEM night with an interactive learning exhibit.
The concept of STEM and expanding all of this different kind of new technology and experiences to all sorts of kids who might not ever have a chance to see it, experience it, or even know that it's out there.
The kids got to put their hands in a glove box to reenact how the pros handle radiological material. Isotech employees demonstrated how they control nuclear material and weigh it and extract isotopes. More than 500 students and their family members showed up to this event.
I just love seeing all the kids get excited. In particular to me, the little ones in the glove box over here. If you've got a view, that was amazing.
We never thought Tyvek could be that fun.
And by the way, the work Isotech employees got to show off at that STEM night is supporting major medical breakthroughs. Right now, they are processing and eliminating uranium-233 stored at Oak Ridge National Lab. They're also extracting thorium-229, which nuclear innovation company TerraPower is using to further cancer treatment research. We will certainly keep you updated on their progress. Now, because of recruiting efforts like that, UCOR now has 42 interviews with candidates after a career fair. From grade school to college, Oak Ridge employees can always be found at these events around here. These are some pictures from a successful Spring 2022 Engineering Expo at University of Tennessee. College students got to meet with potential employers and learn all about their career opportunities. UCOR employees talked a lot about the summer internship program. They left with a whole lot of resumes and more than 36 interviews lined up. We caught up with someone who would know a thing or two about earning that first job after college. Derek Holstein was the first graduate of UT's minor in nuclear decommissioning and environmental management. He went on to start his career at UCOR. He got to share all about his experience with those students at the expo and how both self-discipline and support played a role in his success.
At the beginning, I had to figure out what do I want to study, what do I want to go into, how do I want to apply it into this industry. I felt the engineering route was best for that. And of course, that takes a whole lot of self-drive to survive that. But like I said, it's a mix of both, absolutely. In terms of having the support network, whether it was through high school, through college, the professors, other students, and even as I started to apply and meet people out in this industry, there's a great support network to help support me get to where I am.
UCOR partnered with UT to launch that specific minor. It's the first in the nation, by the way. It was designed for the next generation of employees in the nuclear field. Students learn about how to work on reactors and in nuclear facilities. Each month, we hope to spotlight one of our co-workers. This time, we are introducing you to Rocky Stafford. He is a program analyst in the Planning and Execution Division at DOE, but for this story, you're going to learn about all of his titles, not just that one. He was hired in November of 2018. Just a year and a half later, he and his co-workers, along with many others around the world, were sent to work from home when the pandemic hit. Half of his career with DOE was away from his colleagues. Then, by 2021, he was called to serve. That's another title, Real Property Accountability Officer with the U.S. Army Reserves. Stafford is a member of the 415th Engineer Facility Attachment out of Knoxville. He spent almost a year in Kuwait. His duties at that camp, just south of the Iraqi border, included managing utilities, think public works. He says anything that has to do with running a city, his team does that, but for soldiers. So when he came home from his deployment recently, he was not only returning to work, but returning to the building for the first time in more than 2 years.
It is weird, awkward, but at the same time, I'm just grateful to be back in a physical office and, actually talking to people like you and getting to know a few of my coworkers that got hired on during the telework period.
He got back to a decorated office and coworkers who just couldn't wait to see him. Even more excited, though, of course, was his family. He says the time flew by, but leaving his wife and 3 little kids behind, that was tough. Stafford is called Dad by 2 girls, 11 and 9, and 1 little boy, 6-year-old Levi. That's who you're about to see in this next video. When he got home, Stafford got to surprise his son at school. Rocky, thank you so much for sharing that moment with us. Thank you for your service. Thank you for the work you do in Oak Ridge. We are so glad you're back, and welcome home. Our news doesn't stop here. We've got a whole lot more in the works. We are excited to share a heartwarming story of employees and friends honoring Steve McCracken. We'll show you how his work is being remembered. Plus, we'll show you the latest building coming down at Y12. Yes, that means demo video. And this will be an update years in the making. We're going to explain the efforts going into keeping the community informed about a much-needed disposal facility. That's what's in the works. Thank you so much for joining us. New episodes come out on the 3rd Sunday of the month. You can watch on air or online. We post Energycast episodes on our Facebook and YouTube pages the day after they air. Head on over to follow us on our social media accounts. We're always happy to answer questions and share information with you there as well. We'll see you next time.